Hi Year 3, it's Mrs Silverthorne with Maths for Wednesday the 20th of January. I'll just share my screen with you now. Okay, let's jump in. So I did tell you that this would be coming back. So I would like you to have a look at all of these numerals and I'd like you to write them down as words, please. So pause the video here, write them down and see if you are able to spell them all correctly. As we did last time, if there's any that you find that you didn't get correct, maybe put a circle around it and then we'll have another go at that another time until we've got them all. So see you in a moment. Okay, how did you get on? Have a little look through, tick the ones you got correct, put a circle around the ones you didn't. Did you get more correct this time or did you get less? Hopefully you will have got more. Okay, let's see how we get on with our grid method. Now, we've been getting on quite well with this at the moment, so I'm actually only going to do 2 examples of this today, and then we're going to move into applying it to some worded problems. So let's have a little look. I've got my steps to success ready, and I think I'm able to go. Let's give it a try. So when I want to multiply 17 by 8, I have then got to look at my 2-digit number. Oh, I'm in green pen today. My 2-digit number needs to be partitioned into the top 2 boxes. So the 1 is my 10, so I need to pop it in this one. So 110 in 17, there we go, which is just 10. And then the 1 from 17, there we go, goes there. My 8, there we go, this is step 2, comes in the box underneath. Now I'm on to step 3. So I multiply the number in the tens column by the 1-digit number. So for this one, it's 10 times 8. So I'm going to count up a tens 8 times. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Hopefully you guys are getting nice and quick at these. There we go. Brilliant. And then I need to move on to step 4, which is multiply the number in the ones column by the 1-digit number. So 8 times 7 this time. So I'm going to do 8 times 7. I'm going to count up in 8 though rather than 7s. So I'm going to count up in an 8 7 times. So I'm going to go 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56. Got it. Okay, so 56 it is. And then I put my answer in this box. Now for the next step, it is step 5. So I want to add up my 10s and 1s to find out the answer. So I'm looking at the numbers I need to add up here. I am going to be using sandwich method. So I'm going to write this down here. So 80. There we go. Now, because the 56 has 1s in it, I need to add up. There we go. I am going to use the full sandwich method. So 80 plus 0. Oh, that was a strange one there. Let's try that one again. Doing almost like a greater than, less than symbol. There we go. And then I am going to partition the 56. So the 6 go here. And the 50 from 56 would go here. I'm also quite aware as well, I'm using my number knowledge now, that 80 is not very far from 100. So because I know that 80 is not very far from 100, I'm actually going to draw an extra long, there we go, an extra long bar to help me here. And in fact, now I'm looking at it, I might even just move this to one side so I've got enough room. There we go. Okay, so now I can start adding up with my 1s first. So 0 plus 6 gives me 6. Then I'm going to look at adding up my 10s. So at the moment, I've got 80 plus 50. So I'm going to put 80 up here in my mind, and I'm going to count on 5 10s because that's how many 10s are in 50. So I'm going to go 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130. Oh, I was right. I used my number knowledge correctly. So because it's 130, the 30 stays here in the 10s column, but the 100 needs to be pushed over and put down as a fella in the cellar. Now at the moment I've got nothing left to add up in my hundreds column apart from the fella in the cellar, so I can just pop these in here. There we go. And then to fully have worked out my answer, I just need to almost unpartition it. So 100 plus 30 plus 6 will give me 136, and that is my answer. Okay, Hopefully you guys all thought, wow, Mrs. Silverthorne, yeah, I'm really getting this. I remembered this and I'm getting used to the steps to success. This will be the third day we've done it. So I'm hoping that it's all starting to really, really lock into your knowledge now. Let's look at this question. So for this one, it's 59 times 5. Now, can you remember what we had to do slightly differently for this calculation? Because the tens here is not just 1 10, there's 5. You've got it, well done. I still need to partition the number, but I will be looking out for a related calculation. So at the moment, I've got 59. So I'm going to partition it into 50 and 9. And then step 2 is to put the 1-digit number down here. So in this box it goes. Now, this is where I need to be looking out for my related calculation. So I'm going to jump in here and think about the very first number in the tens. So at the moment, it's a 5. So I'm thinking about the related calculation of 5 times 5, which would give me 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, would give me 25. You probably already knew that without having to count up. But in order to do this, I now need to be thinking, well, actually, I'm not just doing 5 times 5, I'm doing 5 times 50, which is 10 times greater. And so because that's 10 times greater, I use my related calculation knowledge and my multiplying by 10 knowledge to know that the answer I got for 5 times 5 would then need to be multiplied by 10 too. So 10 times greater, which makes 250. Okay, so now that I've worked that out, I could put that in my answer box here. So 250. Okay, and then I am back at step 4. So this time I'm doing 5 times 9. So I'm going to count up in 5s this time 9 times. So here I go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Here we go. Okay, so now we're here. There we go. I can now move on to my step 5, which is to add up my 10s and my 1s to find my answer. I'm going to move this speech bubble out of the way so that then we've got enough room, and then we will have done our final step. Okay, so my answer was 250. Now again, because this is a slightly bigger number, I am going to use the full sandwich method for this one. So 250, oh, so that's going to become 200 plus 50. So we're partitioning that number. Now 250 doesn't have any zeros, any ones. There we go. So I'm just going to put a 0 in the 1 space. There we go. And then I'm going to partition the 45 as well. There we go. So that becomes 5 there in my 1s, and then 40. Oh, there we go, very small 0 in my 10s. Now for this one, because I have got no hundreds in my ones that I need to add up, I can draw an extra large bar at the bottom because I can see I have got a 100 over here that I will need to consider. And then I can start to add it up. So 0 plus 5 would make 5. 50 plus 40, so let's think about that. So 50, add 4 10s because that's what 40 is. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And then here, I've only got the 200. I didn't have to do an exchange for those 10s. So here, I've got 200 basically plus 0, so it just stays the same. And then I will be ready to put it all together for my answer. So 200 plus 90 plus 5 will give me an answer of 295. Look at it, some bigger numbers there. I like that. So my answer then can go up here. Okay, so how did you get on? Did you think, oh, yep, this is all seeming very familiar now, Mrs. Silverthorne? Okay. Now, for this time, we want to think about the worded element. So if we came across a problem in real life, we would then be able to use our grid method to help us to solve it. So we need to think about what is the most important information in this word problem. So in a shop, there are 7 boxes of ice lollies. There are 28 lollies in each box. How many ice lollies are there all together? So I know that straight away, if I've got 7 boxes of ice lollies and there are 28 lollies in each box, I'm going to underline all the way there so that I'm imagining it, I'm visualizing 7 boxes. And then I'll be able to think, well, actually, what kind of calculation am I doing there? So just to keep it nice and visual for you, I've drawn it like this for us. So at the moment, we have got here our 7 boxes, and each box has 28 ice lollies in, okay? So to be able to think about that, well, I could do 28, add 28, add 28, add 28, add 28, add 28, add 28, but I would be there all day. It's much quicker to use our grid method and work it out that way. So in order to do that, the calculation I would be doing would be 28 times 7, or 7 times 28. That rule of commutativity still applies, and we would still get the same answer either way. So for this one, I'm going to partition my 28 into 20 and 8. And my 7 is going to come down here. So for this one, I'm sure you spotted already, I would need to be thinking about a related calculation here. So if I'm having to think about a related calculation, I would be thinking, oh, 7 times 2. And then what would that give me? That would give me 14. But then I need to be thinking that it's not 2 at the moment. So to relate it, I'm thinking 7 times 20. So it's 10 times greater, which means my answer needs to be 10 times greater, which makes it 140. I'm hoping all of those skills are really sort of coming together for you now, so you can see why they were useful and why we might have included them. Brilliant. And then I'm doing 7 times 8, which is in my 8 times table, which I know we've all been practicing. And so I'm going to put my answer to 7 times 8, which is 56, just down here. And then you've guessed it, I can do my addition calculation to work it out. I'm still thinking about those 5 steps to success that we've been doing for our grid method so far. So let's give it a go, shall we? So 100 plus 40. Now I'm using the full sandwich method again here. There we go. Now, because 140 doesn't have any ones, I'm still going to pop a 0 in there. There we go, because it makes it nice and clear for my calculation. And then I'm going to partition the 56. So I've got 6 for my ones and 5 tens, so that's 50. Okay, so Rodney Ruler is coming to the rescue. In red, no doubt. I'm thinking red cape. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to add it up. So 0 plus 6 will give me 6. 40 plus 50, so I'm going to have 40 in my mind. I'm going to count on 5 more 10, so 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, so because that number is less than 100, I don't need to do an exchange there. I'm allowed to have 9 tens there, so that's fine. And here, it's just 100 plus 0 because there's nothing else left to add. There we go. And then when I unpartition it, I will end up with 196. So altogether, 196 ice lollies. I can't wait for summer if that's how many ice lollies there are. Okay, let's try another one. Oh, where's that come from? That's come from a different page. Let's get rid of you. Okay, Josie is raising money for charity by doing a sponsored swim. She plans to swim 34 lengths every day for 8 days. Whew, what a champ. How many lengths will she need to swim in order to complete her challenge? So when we're thinking about this, it's exactly the same thing again. We are still thinking about visualizing her on each day, 34 lengths, day 2, 34 lengths, day 3, 34 lengths, and so on. We could do that, or we could just cut to the chase and make it really quick by doing grid method. So let's see. If she plans to swim 34 lengths for 8 days. Okay, I know that I will need to do 34 times 8, because if you've noticed here, I've just put it out visually so you can see every single day she's going to be doing 34 lengths, but for 8 days. So she's doing that 8 times. So my calculation is 34 times 8. The first step, you've got it, I need to partition the number 34. So I've got my 30 and I've got 4. And then the number 8 comes down here for step 2. Okay, you've already been thinking, Mrs. Silverthorne, you're going to need to do a related calculation first to help you here. So 8 times 3 is going to be my related calculation. So I'm going to do 8 times 3, and I know that that gives me an answer of 24. My related calculation is 8 times 30. And then I'm going to use the answer 24 to help me. The 3 has been multiplied by 10 to make 30, so the 24 will need to be multiplied by 10 too to make 240. Okay, and that helps me to put the answer in this box just here. There we go. Okay, and now I'm back on here for 8 times 4. So 8 times 4 I know will give me an answer of 32. I've been practicing those 8 times tables, I'm sure you can tell. And then I would need to do my calculation. I need to do an addition here. So I'm wondering if I can actually write over the top and whether it will let me. So I need to do 200 plus 40. Now again, I'm using the full sandwich method here. There we go, I'm drawing over the swimmer. And I'm going to pop a 0 there. There we go. I might move that swimmer out of the way. There we go. Up you go up there, swimmer. Thank you. Great swimming. Okay, and then I'm going to partition the 32. So that partitions into 30 plus 2. There we go. So where's that Rodney gone? I've got it. There we go. Superb. Okay. So now I'm going to do my ones. So 0 plus 2 will give me 2. 40 plus 30 is going to give me, oh, let's work it out. So 40 add 3 tens is going to be 50. 60 is going to be 70. There we go. And then because I've got no more hundreds to add up apart from the 200 I've got here, I didn't need to do an exchange this time. I know my answer here is just 200. So now I need to put that all together, and my answer for this, wow, Josie is incredible. She will have swum 272 lengths to complete her challenge for charity. It's just incredible. Wow. Okay. So we're going to use those skills today to solve some worded problems. We're going to use grid method because that's what we're working on this week. We really want to get that nice and concrete in our minds, how we use it and how it can apply to different kinds of questions. So for today, we've got some worded problems. So number 1, Mr. Moon cycles 14 miles to work and catches the bus home. How many miles does he cycle if he works 5 days a week? Okay. Question 2, Hannah earns £48 each week for her part-time job. How much money will she have earned in 4 weeks? Hopefully lots. Question 3, Joe Wicks works out 5 days in a row for 38 minutes each day. How many minutes did Joe spend working out? Far more than me at the moment. Question 4, Jenna read 7 books this month. If each book had 82 pages, how many pages has she read in total? And question 5, a newsletter has 18 articles in it. How many articles are there in 4 newsletters? Pause the video here and give this a go. Okay, so with your grid method, I'm hoping that these are the answers that you got to. Have a little look through and tick off the ones that you got correct. Any you didn't get correct, please don't worry about it. Just see if you can spot where you made the mistake, because that is where the learning happens. Okay, if you want to give Gold a try, let's go. Okay, so this is a trial and improvement problem for our gold task today. So for our gold task, we're still using grid method to help us, but we're trying to think about it in a slightly different way. So for this question, Sam multiplies a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number. What numbers did he use? And now you've got 3 options below down here to help you. Now, in order to be able to work this out, you will need to put it onto a grid for each one of those numbers to be able to work out if the answer you get is 96. The same applies for this one, only for this one, you need to work out what 2 of the missing numbers are, the same ones here. Use your grid method to help you and let me know how you get on. So pause the video here and give it a go. Okay, and then we've got our answers here. So have a little look, tick through. How did you get on? If you want to give Platinum a try and you're ready for a challenge, let's try this one. Okay, Zara and Alfie are trying to get an answer near to the target number of 300. They've each got some digit cards, so arrange their 3 digits to make a 2-digit times 1-digit multiplication calculation with the nearest answer. Who was closest? So for this one, for example, for Zara, she's got the numbers 4, 3, and 8. So I might think, well, I need to do a 2-digit times a 1-digit multiplication. It won't matter which way around you put them, as long as it's a 2-digit times a 1-digit or a 1-digit times a 2-digit. So for example, I might decide to try 83 times 4 and see how close I can get then to the number of 300, okay? If that doesn't work, what other kind of combinations could you come up with? There's quite a few that you could do. So let's have a think there. What about Alfie? Alfie, let's see. We might want to do, I don't know, 53 times 8. You can do it the other way around, though. You could do 8 times 53. Obviously, the rule of commutativity there means it would give you the same answer anyway. But have a little look. Work out the different calculations that you can make with the 3 digits each of these characters have. Which character gets closest to 300? Is it going to be Zara or is it going to be Alfie? I'm not sure. Pause the video here and give it a go. Okay. So this took me quite a while to be able to work out, but we got there in the end. So I worked out that Zara could have had, now I tried to go in a bit of a system here. If you'll notice, I thought, well, the 1 digit I've got here can really only be there twice, because then the other 2 numbers would just get swapped around. So I had 4 times 38, and then I switched around the 3 and the 8 to make 83. There's no other real combination I could have had there. And you'll notice that's a system that I've used throughout to be able to find all the combinations I could. So the closest I found was 272 for Zara. Now I did the same over here, and I found that 280 was the closest Alfie could have got to 300. So in the end, Alfie was actually the closest. How did you get on? I'm going to pause our lesson there. I'm hoping that you guys are having a really wonderful Wednesday, and I will actually see you tomorrow. Well done for today.